had an itch. Look, Ma, no hands.
Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of the Star Citizen Report. Coming to you from Grievance, and I'm one of your hosts, Damon. Right next to me
Memo?
got, Memo. And then I got Whoopinyo.
Hey everybody.
Down here are Leah. Alright. And a lot of news. Welcome back, Memo.
Thank you. Been gone for a little while.
And folks, give you just kind of a general rundown. We've got a lot of things to cover. Arena Commander version 0.9 now went live. A lot of big news out of that. I've got some pictures of that. A lot of stuff involved around the racing ships. And some videos. Another stretch goal met. As well as some news around the verse. A nice deal actually going through Lego. Fan-made page that kind of tells you a bit about the ships in development, and a lot of pictures, work in progress on the Mustang. So again, try to pack this show with a lot of nice goodies for you folks there watching and enjoying. Alright. So Memo, just to catch up on some older news here, we'd always been wondering like which constellation you were looking at when the choices came out.
You know, I'm really happy with the multi-purpose one, which is the one you got for original purposes. I'm still looking at the Aquila, if that's the correct pronunciation, because that's what the whole commercial was designed around, and it looks spectacular. But right now, I'm pretty happy with just the multi-use one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to upgrade that or keep it the same. I got some time to think it over. I might at some point melt the Constellation down and grab something else. That's the great thing about, being a backer. You have the freedom to melt and rebuy. We know that Arleah has a brand new purchase. Can you show us your newest purchase from Star Citizen, Arleah? Now you got to model it like you did earlier. No, come on, Arleah.
Good God. We're going to send people to the emergency room.
The very large Star Citizen towel. You could wrap this around you twice. That's really good
ready
size.
To travel. He's got a towel.
Oh, it might fit me.
Yeah. I managed to get two of them in case they were small.
Thank you for that. We actually, before the cast went live, got to see him model the towel. I'm sorry that we couldn't get him to repeat that for you folks tonight. Maybe later.
It's a live show. Some standards have to be adhered to. All right. So just to go in some of the first stuff we got here. So Arena Commander version 0.9 now live. Waiting for that for a while. Introduces a lot of changes and brings a lot of new stuff to the I was going to say to the Arena Commander, but it also brings the multiplayer aspect to it. And we now have the M50 and the 350R are now playable.
Yep. And it also gave us the opportunity to see all the different hangars from your when you log in at RSI.
Yeah, those new hangars are pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, and of course those hangars, you can go off the website and pick any hangar that you qualify for and check it out. I was already doing that with the two that I have, the business hangar, which is now the Air View, and the Selfland hangar. I put some videos up on Grievance Gaming's YouTube channel, me kind of exploring them. And I also noticed that when I go into the hangar, I couldn't see the trainer ships anymore. So it looks like you have to either, take the helmet and go into the old version of the ship that you've already gotten, or you just hit the escape key and you can get into Arena Commander that way still. In fact, they did say a few of the ships were bugged, so that for some of them, that was the only reliable way to get into Arena Commander. So,
and some people are still having problems with their M50, especially if they just bought them.
Yeah, I just came off an extremely, for me, busy week, and I have been in the process of downloading it, but I haven't even got the full update download, which, is horrible, I know.
It'll take you forever, man.
It does, and I've had to interrupt it, and apparently it likes to start over. For me, at least.
Yeah, there's been a number of games lately, pretty much anything in the last year that I almost have to leave my computer on overnight, and this is one of them.
Yeah, it's something.
Well, lately I think it was like 4 separate patches, and each one that has to install it after it downloads it, so it just takes that much longer.
You can really see the game progressing though from patch to patch. It's really nice to see. I mean, we've seen the game from being basically a impossible for me, anyways, an impossible ride along for as long as it took the AI to kill you to where it is now. And each update, introduces us to some more of the world and some more playability. So, being in it this stage of the game is very, very exciting.
And I'm just showing a few slides of the different hangars now. Very much expanded. You've got control rooms. You can go on the upper level to enter. Can see some of them are kind of cool. I walked into the Air View hangar, and all of a sudden there's monitors kind of sliding or raising up into place. It was pretty cool.
I like the elevators in the Air View.
So, Arlia, question for you: with the ability to view the other hangars, have they got a fix in to where you can see more of your ships or rotate around to see the different ones? I know that was an issue before.
Yeah, in the Revel and York hangar, which is mostly white, it's very visible. You go on the second floor. You can look down at the ships from above through the floor.
Nice.
You can walk around the ships. You see 7 of them. The 3 racers, the 2 racers and the Aurora. Then you have the Musashi Freelancer, the Constellation, and a Cutlass is in there. So that's about it. I can't see any more. I'm thinking that eventually they just want to get the basics down on these hangars, and then that you can start adding. You'll see how they look like what they do now is that when they expand, instead of being off to the far right where you would come in on the old hangar, it looks like it goes both directions, left and right, to expand, and that's nice. The asteroid hangar I popped into first, and I was very surprised, and I was like looking around that. It's dark. The AeroView hangar is somewhat dark. I didn't get into the Selfland, but
certainly
it's very
darker than it used to be.
Yeah. The Revel in York, which is the old deluxe hangar, that is really bright. It's clean. You can eat off the floors. It's wonderful.
You can eat off the floors, really.
Yeah, it's that clean, but it won't be that clean once I get in there, Gesundheit. So the way it looks, and you have all your posters, you have all your flare and different levels. In the deluxe hangar, in the front where the doors are to leave with your ships, there's the elevators that take you up to the top floor. And then in the back end of it, there's just one area which is your command center type of thing, to like where your bridge would be to like look at everything. So it's really nice.
I like the details that they did on the elevator with those little things that come up, and then there's another set that comes up, like folds up towards you, and then the elevator moves up, and then the parts fold down, and then it opens up. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Good attention to detail with it.
Mm-hmm. That's the aero view.
That was the safe land I have. Yeah.
Look at the aero view. They have the circular ones, and you kind of feel like you're in a cake. And the glass pops down, and then you can like walk into it. It's
the last time I was in a cake, nothing like that ever happened.
Cake? Or did you say cave or cake?
Cake. I was thinking of a round cake where you'd like you pull off the glass cover, kind of a thing, and you'd walk. Never mind.
I was thinking Jimmy Fallon's 40th birthday, but whatever.
I'm hungry.
I was going to go into some of the other things that popped up. One sec.
Damon is broadcasting right now.
I heard. Wow. I'm about to be invaded by little munchkins.
Oh, well, they're awful cute, man. It's all good.
Just give it time; it'll crawl on screen too.
So a few things. Of course, another big thing that was entered in with this arena version is New Horizons Murray Cup. We've got 3 racetracks to mess with now, and you can race. You've got the, how should I say, the high scoreboards, the leaderboards as well to kind of keep track of things. I did get on there once and just, I've got a 300 in the Hornet, and I decided I'm taking the Hornet out on this thing.
Can you shoot the other contestants? Because racing around in a course to me just doesn't sound like a game. Something I want. I know that appeals to some people, but to me, racing when you got guns to shoot, come on.
They sound like some future ones that. They might have some mechanic like that, but you couldn't. I even tried actually releasing the countermeasures, and that didn't work either. I also tried steering, and that was pretty not as well as I thought. Well,
so I would have an even harder time than I have in combat? Nah, no thank you. At least I can shoot stuff in combat, even if it's air or space.
Yeah, well, I was surprised the first time. Oh, the first time, the first track, the easiest, is a nice wide turn to get in the gate. And I missed it. It didn't look like I was going that fast, and then I turned to go in the gate. Momentum just still flew me way off to the side.
You gotta use your 6 degrees of control, dude.
And that is the latest thing. Folks want that 6 degrees of freedom. You can manually control that. Friend codes, so we can go co-op in the games. Co-op in Swarm, co-op in Racing. That's been a big one. They even changed Vanduul Swarm so that when the Vanduul pop in, there's this little cinematic that actually shows them jumping into the game.
That's cool. I gotta check that out.
I only saw it on the first level, though. Although lately I haven't been able to get past 5. They changed the cursor, so it's this little tiny yellow square that you have to get inside of. Oh, it's so hard. You gotta get used to the controls.
There, then.
Yeah, that's what's going to show up too. I was going to bring up the HUD has changed.
I got hit today, and my entire HUD went down. That was really weird.
Wow.
Like, you know how there's supposed to be like buttons on your left and right, and it's supposed to show you the thrust and everything? Gone.
Pardon me. Now, so this is like showing the new heads-up display, because as you're firing different weapons too, they might have different speeds at which they head out between your ballistics, your laser cannons. So you may see these little lead indicators in different boxes, Group 1, Group 2, so that you also kind of get a better idea of where you're going. I like this for the skill factor because before you were trying to get locked onto the ship, but the computer was actually kind of trying to do the aiming for you.
All right, I need the model that has the text up there that's explaining what stuff is, because that I'm looking at this display going, wow, it's telling you what it is, but no, that's something that was added later, right?
Well, it shows you the weapon group. So your left click or whatever button you're using is the main guns, and then the second group is railgun or whatever else you're using. So you just aim in that square and then you shoot the appropriate weapon group. That's it. If you can keep it in the reticle.
Yeah, that would be the issue, but that was one of my problems. I would blow the missiles out immediately, and then I would be spent.
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to do that, but okay.
Well, I know I'm not supposed to do that,
Will,
but I can hit things with the missiles. Jeez.
I think this helps too, because I tried to, in a way, lead or like aim at different parts of the ship with the old system, but this one kind of gives you a little more where, maybe if you can shoot just a tiny bit at the front of the box, you can hit the cockpit, or at the back, and assuming that is if you can aim where you want in the box.
It's really difficult compared to what it was before. There was an ample amount of auto aim that really helped me play, because I suck apparently now. So.
C2 subscribers got a set of 3 lockers for their hangar with a surprise inside. It
I bet you it's a sandwich.
Did you open them up?
And beer and drinks. Well, I'm not a subscriber.
Oh.
But I did see the picture, the very next thing. They're asking for lore in the universe. They're asking to pick drinks and where they're popular and a little backstory.
Me and Will are kind of on the same page on that. The lore, it'll fill the game out at some point, but right now I want to see guns. I want to see ships. I want to see the alien. If they're going to go into lore, let's bring out some of the alien races, let's see some backstory on the Vandal.
And which, if folks hang on to, when we get to talking about, in just a little bit here, when we get to talking about stretch goals, that little thing about new guns also comes into play here. But I do have a treat here, another video set up, because with all this racing highlight they did, we've got that video of Galactic Gear reviews the M50.
It was a cute video.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I typically haven't seen much of Top Gear, but it's kind of nice. They still get like these little real world Easter eggs that kind of pop in there.
It's very well done.
The only problem I had was the lip sync was out. If you watch the guy talking, like moving his mouth and his lips while the sound was going, it just really didn't match up.
Really? I did not notice that, but now I'm going to notice that.
Yeah, now you're going to ruin the whole video for me.
I ruined it for everyone.
You ruined it for everybody.
Alright, so let me pop
attention to detail has bit us in the ass yet again.
It's just not right.
Alright, folks, here it is. Galactic Gear reviews the Origin M50.
Now, over the last few years, Origin has become more known for looking fast than any sort of actual speed. Take the 300i. A ship that brags about its extra comfy beds isn't exactly what you want when you're looking for a racer. However, all is not lost. Origin has just written us an apology letter. Meet the new M50. Space. The best ships gracefully dance across its expanse. The worst clumsily plod across its face. The new M50 doesn't have time for any
it's
of
not
that.
right. His
Instead,
mouth is not
it
matching
simply
up with the words.
slices its way through.
Sorry.
The 2944 M50 was designed
When I
with
first saw
one
it,
goal in
I
mind.
did too, but now that Will
Make the
pointed
ship
out, I noticed
that
it.
will
You
win the
noticed it
next
as well?
Cup. The surprising thing is,
Well,
Origin.
He's got a
Just
great
about
line
done
in
it.
it where he says, "Apology
Stats are
accepted,"
an orgy
and
of
that's a great
mind-bending
moment in the
numbers,
entire
but it comes
video.
down to two things: less weight and more
I
power.
can't hear it
You'll
on my
notice that
cast,
the
but
nose
whoever
cone
else
has
is
grown
playing
what
it
I
here,
can
I can
only
hear it through
describe
their
as a moustache. It's added to stabilise all the additional thrust that the retooled and updated twin hammer HM 4.3 drives spew out. And the refinement doesn't stop there. They've narrowed the front fuselage, moved the wings forward for better balance, shaved the cockpit view pane down to the thinnest it could still be, and not shatter in your face. The result? A pure flying machine. Each movement on the stick translates directly into unadulterated throttle action. Welcome back to the glory days of flying.
They really make
That's
this
all
ship
well
look
and good, but
really
when you're
good
talking
in
about
this.
a racing machine,
Yeah,
at
but
the end
it
of the day,
looks
you
like
really
a
have
Formula
to,
One or something to
well,
me. It's
race
fast.
it.
You know, what are you going
And
to do
who
with
better
that?
to prove the M50's
Drive
mettle
fast.
than the
Yeah, you
last
gotta go
Origin
fast.
ship to
I wanna
actually
blow
manage a
stuff up,
cup win,
besides.
the 350R. Piloting the 350R is Galactic Gear's very own two-time cup holder, Timo Bakshi. Flying the M50, an incredible man who, for some inconceivable reason, has never won a single Murray Cup. Me. This, my friends, is going to be good. I keep trying to push the limits, but I can't find the limits! Origin, you hear me? Apology accepted! Apology accepted!
Alrighty there. So yeah, I was liking the whole looks of that, the whole idea they put behind it and everything.
It looks good.
It does look good. That's an amazing video. All the videos they put out for this are top notch. That's one of the things that I know keeps me going on from, release to release with it. There is so much great information, and the fact that they do share so much with us. And then the fan-made videos. I mean, it's just amazing.
Sorry, I ruined it.
Yeah, whoop. I'm gonna hold that grudge for a while. We just need to move on to a better place. I'm sorry, Eamon. I'll keep it down.
I'll let my kids be a little quieter in the background there. I thought it was going to be one of the quietest shows ever, and then it rained and they came home. So, all right. So yeah, I thought that was an awesome addition to it. I can't wait to get in a lot more racing. But even with my Hornet getting out there, I'm going to be really good in that thing, or at least look unique being out there trying.
I guess you look unique. I guess I should try it, but racing not for me. I want to be up there piloting Arlia's Idris into stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, there went whoop. Boom, boom. Oh, sorry,
Hey.
Damon.
Hey, I don't even have an eject button. That's not fair.
Well, I mean, if you get hit by an Idris, an eject button isn't going to do much for you. You're going to eject into the side of the Idris.
Maybe.
Can you
Arlia's
imagine?
like, I loaned this to you and didn't have a scratch on it. You bring it back and it's all dented up.
I like the new paint job.
missing.
All the ships you hit. It's a nice color combination.
Yeah, you'd
It's
be like,
completely
that's who he hit. Look at that big red streak on there.
All right. So let's talk about stretch goals here next.
Stretch goals.
We hit the $53 million stretch goal, and that was the not that my eyebrows raise up too much on this one, the Independent Arbitrators Guild, which we'll only see once the Persistent Universe goes live. And there's already some folks applying for that job, so it'll be a full-time job over there.
We talked about that last time when it came out, that we thought it was a good idea because there's a trial system. That's awesome.
And we'll see how that works when the game comes out.
They're only 150,000 away from the 54 million mark.
We're going to see that hit soon.
Yes.
As far as the $55 million Mark, it will be voted on by backers. So again, we get to go get on there before it hits the 54 million and choose what you want to see next. This vote is between weapons and ship systems for something that all backers will receive at the $55 million level. They included
Weapons.
Cooling
Well, it was
system.
mostly
Go,
weapons.
go.
Cooling system.
Yeah.
and a
Some of
power
the stuff
plant.
just goes. Okay, some of this just goes. Beyond
I need
me.
more guns so that way when they overheat, I can use other ones.
Memo,
One of the other nice
I'm on your
things,
side on this. You want to shoot your weapons so you have a cooling system so you can fire longer.
There we go. I guess that does make sense.
He's
I need to
got
keep
2
my
Gatling
weapons
guns
cool.
on one on each wing. He doesn't need them cooled.
I have a ball turret too.
That too. Is that a 2-seater?
Yeah, the Super Hornet is correct.
Alright.
Isn't the Super Hornet a 2-seater?
Yeah, it's
That
a
is. Has
two-seater.
someone controlling the ball turret?
So you can't shoot it while you're flying it?
And there's
I think you can AI it, but it does have other guns.
there's also things like a EMP missile.
So let me know when
That
you
really
get
went
super-
over well. EMP missile.
I'm like, meh. They just make you go dead in space. That'd be like an electromagnetic pulse that would just wipe out all your electronic systems. Yeah, not as spectacular as a big boom, mushroom cloud kind of deal.
Well, the EMP takes down the shield, so that way the HE can get in and destroy it. So
Yeah, but it's kind of anticlimactic at that point when the guy's just sitting there.
That's when you ram the Memo.
Oh yeah, well, if I had access to a Van Duel scythe, which is the only ship Arlia has never bought, I could just go right through them like a hot knife through butter.
All right.
he's so disappointed in you.
I am Arlia. You let me down there. The one ship, and he's like, I didn't get that one because I didn't like it.
I didn't like the way you have to lie down to fly it.
To me, that'd be one of my ideal anything to fly, drive, whatever, to lay down and drive it.
If I'm going to lie down in a ship,
I'm on
I'm
the
going to go to
bridge.
sleep.
I have someone over here flying and someone over here doing the guns, and I can just criticize them as we go. That's my ideal combat situation.
Wow.
Right. Also, changes to their concept sales. They announced that. As far as if you buy a ship when it's still in the very early concept stage, that also gives it kind of the lowest price. They always want, cheapest if you get in the door right away on all of these. They've offered hangar flare on each, the poster and the model in the hangar. And I think we were kind of or differing on how we read this next one because there was some LTI involved on some of these ships as well.
Cross chassis upgrades.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
also
didn't.
saying with the new concept as well, so both.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me the first time I read it either, but the way Arlia explained it made a lot of sense. Maybe we can have him do that again.
Well, if you have a ship previously that had long-term insurance, and you, like, say, for example, Memo has his Constellation, and he wants to convert that over to a Carrack for exploration, he can just put the new body on it, and that would be upgraded, and he would keep his LTI. Now, the question is, if you have a previous Banu merchantman, are you going to be able to convert that over to the Musashi Hull C for your smuggling? Because the Hull C is a very large ship, and so is the 890 Jump. So what ships are we switching bodies out for? That's the question.
Not
And I
enough
think that's
info
what
out there on that right now.
Did understand too, because I assumed it was just LTI on only like buying the ship in its concept phase. But yeah, I guess I don't understand when they mean cross chassis upgrade. I thought they meant later down the road if you get a different style.
They're doing a cross chassis
Well,
upgrade right now.
the way I took
I have
it-
the MR, so I can upgrade to like the Hornet or the 300i and still keep my LTI and all the other goodies that come along with it. They're saying you're going to be able to do that, and all the new concepts that come out for the short period.
You'll be able to keep that. Like if I were to take my Constellation and move it to one of the other instead of the general use, go to like the Aquila or one of those, I would keep my LTI on it, because otherwise, why would you do that? Why would you lose your LTI?
No reason.
I mean, I came in at the time when everything was LTI, so I'd like to keep that on all my ships.
Well, that's what I assumed. I thought it meant like, yeah, later on, as they do the new variants, you would still keep the LTI as they've been doing it. But then when they announced for this, I guess we're
I don't
having
know.
different discussions on it.
That's what the way we're interpreting it now is the way I hope that it is, because that is fair.
Okay. All right, let's just check on what we got coming up next here. I was going to do some news about Around the Verse 13. And again, folks, I want to thank again the live folks that are watching us here on Twitch channel. Thank you for hanging out. I saw we actually had some streaming issues going out a moment ago. It seems to have cleared up. And of course, later on we got our folks on YouTube. So be sure if you missed anything or that, also you can catch us on YouTube and view us, link us to your friends. We like that.
Yes, please.
So let's see, around the verse 13, they discussed a number of things, like efforts to make the Vanduul glaive stand out a bit better from the scythes.
You see, I wasn't a big fan of the glaive, so.
I thought it was pretty good.
That's the one with 2 blades, right?
Because just because you accidentally run into someone else doesn't mean you run into them with the correct wing.
Well, no. With 2 blades, you're liable to get stuck. With 1, you're just gonna.
Oh.
Get like a TIE Defender that has all 8 on it.
Yeah, I mean that's too many. Do you have a glaive, Arlia, or no? You don't have one of those.
No. Remember, see, when you fly the glaive, you should spin it.
I don't know. Well, I don't have one, and you've neglected to get those ships. So
I don't think that's
for people who don't know and
6
haven't
degrees of
tuned
freedom.
in before. Arlia has virtually not just every ship in the game. He has 2, 3 of every ship in the game for spare parts. So that's why I give him such a hard time about not even having one single Vanduul site. He didn't even have one, but he has like 3 constellations and an Idris and 3 Hornets of this variety, 3 Hornets of that variety. So it's been an ongoing theme since since the very first show Arlia joined us on.
Anyway, I'm going to go through more of this Around the Verse, because speaking of obsession with things, when we get to the end of this Around the Verse segment, we're going to talk about Memo's obsession that also is in Star Citizen Universe coming up, which is kind of hinted back there behind him. At the other
one
end
of my
room.
obsessions, let's be clear there, if we were going to cover my obsessions, we would need a lot longer than an hour-long Star Citizen cast to cover that.
Admitting
we don't even really have
first
enough
step.
to go into this obsession we're going to hit. We're just going to kind of go, whoa, look at that, that's neat. If we really got in there, it'd be ugly.
All right. So here, a few other things. Okay, so they're working hard on getting the other variants of the Hornets, Auroras, and 300s into Arena Commander. So I'd like to get my Super Hornet in there and try it out.
I want to try the tracker and the stealth, see which one is worth it.
Yeah.
The first person shooting against the AI is currently playable. Still lots of testing to be done.
How have you been? Is that something we can get in right now, or no? We can't, can we?
No.
Not yet.
Just that taste trailer that we had, that was so disappointing. Oh,
Yeah,
not a good
I don't
shooter.
know that I've seen that one, but that's one of the aspects of the game I was looking forward to as well, was the FPS, because me and Whoop have been there before. We kind of enjoy those type of games.
In
I'm
PAX
not very good at
Australia,
them, but I
in
enjoy it.
November, we'll be able to see some of the more of the FPS.
Nice.
Yeah. Announced that. We're really looking forward to that. They're also saying work is being done on the atmospheric entry of planet landings, both on the graphics and the process. And Gladius has some final remaining work to do, but will soon make its hangar appearance.
That's awesome.
They've also got lots of work on the Mustang variants in damaged states, so we'll be seeing more of that soon.
How many damage states could you have for a plastic ship?
I know. That Mustang looks like it's going to peel apart around you as you fly it.
It looks really cool, though. But
It does. It
Yeah.
is very nice looking, but the way they describe it, it sounds like it's made of cardboard.
yeah,
We're
You
going to
know,
go
that's why
that
I
one
like
in...
the I know that it's not a starter ship, but that's why I like the Gladys so much. You know, it seemed like what you wanted the Mustang to be like, but it wasn't quite as sexy. But the description on the Mustang is frightening almost.
All right.
Sounds like you're flying a cardboard box.
Now, I am kind of throwing at people here. It was around the verse they showed this 3D model of a Freelancer that a fan made. I thought this was awesome to look at. This guy put a lot of work to this, get it done here.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of
Maybe
work.
it's just me, but look, that reminds me of something.
Weirdo. Should be
Like
ashamed
the
of
head of
yourself.
a turtle.
Like
And
when the
then
turtle head's
also-
poking out.
You guys are bad.
And I'm also finding the right one. We
That
get,
is pretty wicked.
we've also got this one, a sneak peek at the Retaliator cockpit.
That's gonna be cool to see. It's the large bomber, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what you use against Idris, other than Aurora.
That was kind of funny because Ben Lesnick announced sneak peek and he said the Retaliator, and there's Sandy Gardens. I thought the point of sneak peek was to not tell him what ship it was.
Nice.
Alrighty. So,
I believe
Yeah,
the
it's pretty
escape pod
cool
on the
looking.
Retaliator
Like you're,
encompasses you when you eject.
it's like you're kind of hanging out there, and I mean, that's pretty cool.
let's see. And they've got also October 10th CitizenCon in LA this year. So they're hoping to showcase some new live demos there as well. Alright. So, I think, Memo, I think we've got your favorite part coming up next here.
We're to Lego.
Yes. So, you guys, any of you want to jump in? Let us know, let folks know what's going on here.
Did you have a seizure as soon as you saw that memo, or?
Oh, dude, I lit up. I actually went and dug into, as you can see behind me, I got some Star Wars Lego out. I actually went and dug into into my storage unit and got some of the Star Wars Lego I have out. I have a Star Wars Lego collection. I have almost, of the first 4 or 5 years it was out, I have every piece from those 4 or 5 years. All the giant ones. I mean, I have quite a bit of money sunk into Star Wars Lego because 2 of my obsessions as a child, I loved Lego and I loved Star Wars. And when they came out with those, I was in my mid-20s and I had a fair amount of disposable income, so I really went there. Doc Eck, our Neverwinter guild leader, I got him. He was a huge Star Wars fan too. One of my best lifelong friends, pretty much. I got him involved in Star Wars Lego, and he also has a fairly decent collection, but I kind of went bonkers there for a couple years and got the whole series run for 3, 4, 5 years worth, and then just kind of picked sets after that. But yeah, this is awesome. I voted. I hope everybody else went and voted. Do we have a link to put up so people can go vote on that?
I don't have it currently. Actually, I can probably
just
grab
like
it.
it.
Get it.
I've got
Yeah,
it.
if you guys can get it. It's so this is, they need your support in order to do the go-ahead for this Lego version of the Hornet. And they
10,000
need,
Well,
people.
that's not the Hornet, but that's his page. You can get to the Hornet from there.
yeah. And needs 10,000 supporters. It's now over 9,000, so they're a good ways there already.
Well, I voted on it the day that came out, and it was already at 5,000 or 6,000. So that was great on 2 days.
Yeah, here I'm gonna put the Hornet up now. That's the guy's
Okay.
page with some other stuff he's done, but this one is the Hornet. Yeah, that's
It
the
was cool.
actual Hornet.
There's
That
more than
first
one
link.
Hornet on there. There's 2 of them, but only one has the green and looks, I guess, a little bit
Yeah,
better. But
this one has 9,000 supporters, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely purchase that.
there's an Aurora, there's 300i, and there's a
Yeah.
Vendel Skies as well.
Yeah, that
Looks pretty
first
awesome.
link I posted has all those on it. That's his page as well that did the Hornet, but the Hornet's the one that's really taken off here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he really kind of nailed it there.
I guess all we can say for supporters is they see this and they want to do it, go to Lego's site, vote for that Hornet, but then there will be links off on the right side of the page that show some of these other projects, so maybe we can link through the whole bunch of them. Because the Hornet's got to have somebody to fly with or shoot down.
Yeah, I did post the page first, Damon, that had his other stuff on it instead of the Hornet. So both links are up there to go see those.
Okay. And as y'all can see, even Memo's dog is enjoying the Lego stuff behind him.
Yeah,
Its
I
tail
don't know
wagging
what
and everything.
I don't know what she's doing back there.
She's looking for that scythe.
She ain't gonna find it because the girl Arlia did not buy a scythe. There, she knows now.
All right. I've got something else to show you guys too. Also a fan-made project, and I'll show you this web page here. Actually, let me throw the link up in Twitch for you folks to check out later. Don't check it out now. We're in the middle of a show. But I'll give you a glance at it right now here. Alright, so this is a basically an unofficial Star Citizen ship progress chart. And this is where they're kind of tracking the stage at which these different models are. Whether in the white box or the 3D or 2D concept. In the engine, damage states. So you can check this out, and this can kind of also give you I thought this was great. So folks having like a resource that you can kind of see where everything was, where maybe your variant or your ship might be at.
Okay.
Alright, so anyways, just one of those awesome things I thought came out within the Star Citizen community, the folks that are tracking this stuff and bring it to other people to enjoy. Okay.
That's a cool thing.
And what is this showing us again?
The
State
unofficial Star Citizen ship progress chart.
Okay.
And that's out
Wow,
on the web.
someone has a lot of free time on their hands there. Just saying.
Yeah, it's off of Google Docs, so it's like I had the link. We get this on YouTube, but I have to get that link in there again so people can go back and check it out. As well as all the links to the Lego stuff. We have a lot of links to put up, I think, this time. Alright. So, let's show these folks some pictures of this Mustang work in progress. So we're kind of already starting to talk a little bit about it a moment ago.
Yeah, it looks really good, but the description on it makes you think
Well,
it's a one-ply ship.
the company is notorious for making inexpensive items, not as good as RSI or Origins or Aegis.
Inexpensive disposable.
Well,
it's the big razor of fighters.
well, think of it this way: when you board the ship and you have your suit on, you're not taking your spacesuit off.
No, you're not. I mean, I like the looks of it, and I like it as an alternative to the Aurora for sure.
Yeah,
It's a good starter ship.
But
Yep.
it does look very fragile.
it kind of reminds me of like a praying mantis in a way.
What it reminds
yeah,
me of
so.
is, do you remember? I mean, this is probably before Whoop's time, but the movie The Last Starfighter.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it really reminds me of. That ship that he flew in. That.
Yeah, the top-down silhouette, I think, would look very, very familiar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, this looks exactly like the Minnesota state bird, the mosquito.
Nice.
And don't get me wrong, I like the looks of this. I still think mosquito, but I like the looks of this ship. It's different. I can see this kind of being the ship of someone who's a little bit maybe of a rebel, as well as a shipbuilding company that's a little bit of a rebel. Consolidated Outland.
So I just looked it up, and I have seen that movie. It doesn't look like that ship. You're bad.
Well, I'm old. My memory could be faulty.
Well, that's what
I can
Whoopinio
say
just
that.
said.
I know, but he was a lot nicer about it than that. So
Yeah, and
Right,
these
that's
here
what I just
too.
looked up.
Like I say, if folks kind of remember,
a serious link. Whoop. Yeah, it does kind of look like that a little bit. If the sides were chopped out. Come on, man.
If you hollowed it out, made a. Yeah, never mind.
and this
It's
was
the skinny
introduced
little
as
brother.
like an alternate starter ship. You know, we had the Aurora, and that was pretty nice. And they wanted to, we wanted to see also like maybe another one down at that roughly economic level, at that price range. And so it comes out the Mustang. Now, from what I've seen of this work in progress, it still seems to me like one advantage the Aurora has is the Aurora at least has a bed in it.
It looks like it could take a little bit more punishment too. Why is a bed an advantage in a fighter? If you've got
So-
time to sleep,
for
should
those
you be in
long
a fighter?
trips.
I mean,
So you can do what they did in the commercial for the missile thing, when everybody's wandering around the constellation trying to figure out where the bridge is, and you see the big warning emblems telling you to wake up.
Have
Because
you
there's a
been
missile.
in the Aurora? Because
look.
none of that happens.
yeah, I mean, if you need a
No,
bed
I'm
in your
talking about the
fighter, you may
constellation.
need to reevaluate your priorities
The
because.
bed inside
Yeah.
the Aurora is like a coffin. It's just making you getting ready. That's it.
And
It's
as far as
preparation.
finding the cockpit of the constellation, and everybody
All
comes
the
to the
beds-
cockpit. It's that easy.
All the beds are like coffins. Try
Oh.
getting a bed in the
I
freelance.
don't know. The bathroom in the constellation is bigger than most of the cargo bays in some of the ships, so I don't know what's going on there.
But you have more room in the bathroom than you do in the bed.
Oh yeah, the bathroom on the Connie is massive. I mean, there's a big walk-in shower. There's a toilet. There's a big sink and a mirror.
I think
I'm
it's bigger
curious,
than
You
the
could fit, you
cockpit.
could
And
fit
yet
like a half a
something
dozen
like,
happy people in there.
Yeah, and yet something like the Mustang and the Aurora, I mean, that's your personal ship right there. That can be your personal little, and they don't, they do some dogfighting, and yet I've had some people say they're not the biggest. I mean, an Aurora and a Mustang might not necessarily be outfitted that way, but I can see like where this can be the smallest personal ships that you can
Yeah,
own and
it's a
have
good
fun.
starter option. I agree with that as far
Very
as
good
you
starters.
upgraded out of your Aurora, didn't you, Whoop?
I really, really want to.
You,
Really?
you haven't done it yet, have you?
No, I haven't. I was looking at it like 3 hours ago, and I'm like, oh, what can I use? I was having a really hard time in the Swarm co-op today, and I shot down like 3 things, and I went through like 6 waves. It's crazy.
Nice.
Well, and now, Whoopin' has an extra mouth to feed ships to now.
Yeah. On a side note, my wife goes, "Yeah, I want to talk about putting more money into Arcade, so maybe I'll put more money into this." So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she got Arcades. You should get another ship. I support that. Don't tell her I said
Yeah.
that.
No, we'll talk
She'll
about it.
hear
It's okay.
She'll hear it.
And of course, the Mustang Consolidated Outland also seems to be offering the only racing competition against Origin. We know that we've already seen some sneak peek pictures of Mustang variants, and we know one of them's a racer.
Really? You're gonna
Yeah.
race in a cardboard box? That just sounds.
Well, what do they call
It's more
those racers?
maneuverable.
The old
What was
soapbox
that?
derby.
Soapbox
Yeah.
derby.
I can see snapping some Mustang wings off with some of that racing the way I was racing.
Yeah.
As it was, I
As
had
you're
that Hornet
flying,
out.
pieces are just blowing off behind you.
The
Like,
youngest kid
"Make
was
it, make it."
watching, and at 4.5, did you lose your wings, Daddy? Did you lose your wings, Daddy? It's like, yeah, I broke the wing off. Did you lose your wings, Daddy? Yeah, you're reminding me. I can see it. I've got no wings left on my ship. Oh,
Isn't it good to have a co-pilot?
yeah. Oh, that was more fun watching. I tell you. Let's also go on here and get in little 10 for the chairman. All right, talk about some of this news we got elsewhere in the universe. They have mentioned, because somebody asked, in case of multi-crew ships, the PvP/PvE slider is basically controlled by the captain/owner of the ship.
Well, yeah. Should it not be? Should you let this random crewman you picked up, God knows where, control your PvP settings? That just sounds unsafe to me.
Yeah, well, he might have his clan waiting there out at the jump point.
I want to
I know you
PvP it all the way up on this guy.
I think of Thelma and Louise going off the cliff.
He's been playing with the PvP slider again.
You're like, oh
I
yeah,
need
we're
to
just about to
lock
blow this
that
up, and
thing
he hits the
up.
switch, and all of these PvP players just show up on your screen. Oh no!
Let's see. And I'm also going to check it out later. Had to link some here. In our live show, Trookon, Trookon,
Sure.
threw me a link here, something I'm going to check out later. So hopefully something in the next show, but right now I just kind of hooked that onto my notes here so I can check it out.
It's the
Ethics is
Mustang
just
and the
like-
Rebel in York hangar.
Wow.
Hmm.
I think I've seen that. People have mentioned, we showed a video of his last time, Anything FPS. If you check out his channel on YouTube, he has a lot of nice YouTube videos Star Citizen related. He gets in there, they've got nice soundtracks to them. I'd love to get that guy on the show sometime.
Good attention to
Send it-
detail on weapons and the helmet and the ship. That was pretty awesome.
Send him a note, Damon. We could get him on here.
I did, I'll try again. I've tried to contact him, I'll give it another
My wife
shot.
will make pudding or cookies or something, whatever she feels like.
I'll put that in the note.
All right,
And you're going to
all
be held to it.
I just volunteered my wife. Yay!
All right.
She loves that. We know.
And no Gitsun asked about data being lost or destroyed on your ship, but also about the hacking aspect in general. And Chris Roberts, he mostly kind of went to the side of the question a bit. He was mentioning, the Drake Herald. That's one of these ships involved in the info running, whether protecting data or blocking or intercepting it. And also, he said on big ships, there might be a station in which a person, their job is to jam or launch a virus into enemy ships and be some mini game with that. But a lot of the mechanics of that is still to be designed. They did say he's going to stop short of anything that's like a devastating hacking attack on a player's character. He's like, that's no fun in real life and no fun in a game either.
Yeah, we don't really need to drag DDoS attacks into the game. Those, as we've seen for Arcade, it can bring your playing experience down to non-existent.
Well, if you can get somebody off of a weapon or off the bridge or something like that in order to take care of another part of the ship, you've been successful in the attack.
Yeah.
So I can
But
understand limiting the amount of success that you have on that ship.
I do
I
like
think-
that as an addition to the game, but it does need to have some kind of ceiling on it. But that is a really
Yeah.
neat gameplay mechanic that I'm really interested to see that in action, because it can either be really well done or not so much. But I'm thinking they're paying attention.
You don't want to see people hacking into your credit account for your player.
No, but to get in there, if you have someone that's dedicated their ship to doing that, it's kind of like in any kind of Trinity game where you have someone that's got all your snares and stuns and things like that. That's how it would translate to me, anyways.
Like turn off their warp core. It takes another minute to turn back
Drop
on.
their
or-
shields.
Yeah. Well, just in like one section or half shields. Nothing debilitating.
yeah, just like how you would have someone that was a support class in any kind
Yeah.
of Trinity setup. I mean, you need those people for successful
Galaxy
encounters
Quest.
and raids.
As well as trying to make sure on that balance where what people find acceptable, even like a PvP atmosphere, compared to what people find as just griefing other players.
Yeah, Galaxy Quest. Thanks for mentioning that, Arlia. Are you going to be my guy on my ship that repeats everything the computer says?
I think
You'll have to wear the spandex top, though. I mean,
Oh,
without that, it
You
won't
already
work.
saw the towel earlier today.
I love
Yeah.
that movie, by the way, Galaxy Quest. That
Yeah.
spoofs the genre so spectacularly. But getting off topic here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Got a few questions left to go. We also are getting close to kind of our limit on time, so I'll just try to kind of get through the try to blur through these. Lightspeed asked about becoming a crew on an NPC alien ship, and he said although you can take jobs or pilot for NPCs, he said, well, maybe not necessarily be crew of a ship, but it could potentially happen the way that AI can be set up in the game, although it's something he'd have to flesh out. Racing ships and jump drives. The 350R will have one. The Mustang can fit one. The M50s won't have it. So that's why you need some of these bigger ships to transport the smaller racers or pay somebody to do it for you.
I'm interested to see how that
Thinking
winds
dealer.
up too with the job system, being it player based, or you'll be doing jobs for players, NPCs, combination of both. How that's gonna flesh out.
He He went into another description about weapon effectiveness versus armor types. Probably can't kind of repeat the whole thing here, but again, there's a lot of there's a lot of like I say, different weapons, different ways to protect your ship, and it all ends up being kind of a balance. Some of that stuff's going to be ideal in certain situations, some not, but there is going to be a lot of variety there. He also said gravity can be a factor in gameplay. There's already a little gravity in the Murray Cup Raceway right now, and he said they can do things where they can build different gravity mechanics around planet side and planet side FPS.
You make a gravity gun. All the ships
That'd be interesting.
right into each other.
Hmm.
Um,
And that's going to be my excuse. It was the gravity gun. I didn't just run into you on accident.
a gravity, shoot the gravity gun at the glaive.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm a single blade kind of guy, not a dual blade.
Whatever.
okay, and well, like I say, on 10 for the Chairman, that's what Chris Roberts said in the live show. Trukon, and pardon me if I'm not pronouncing that right, does say that the M50 can fit one but doesn't come with one.
Mhm.
So, again, you may have to check that constantly changing ship stats page, which I know gets on people, but we'll only know till release, and even then they might tweak some stuff.
Well, everybody should have an Arlia. I just go, Arlia, what's changed? And he fills me in on the details, and then I'm all good. I don't have to constantly check the page. I got an Arlia.
He did assure us that if your whole Constellation crew died in a remote, previously unexplored sector,
That's very
somehow
sad.
the rescue team will still find you and get you back to the hospital in a civilized spot.
Yeah, the little bucket with the
If
scoop.
your whole crew dies, should the captain not go down with them as well? That's very sad.
What happens to the ship? That's my
Well, I
question.
think that's what they're
Yeah.
saying is like they just discovered a new jump point. They're in an unknown planet, and somehow everybody dies.
This is what I
They
think.
will end up back at the hospital.
In that commercial,
And
where
everybody
all the little
dies.
critters, everybody's dead in that commercial because you don't see that the little critters that are on the planet go over there and they disassemble that entire ship.
Yeah.
They
So
sell
it's
it
a
for
planet of
scrap.
Jawas?
I feel kind of like the odd man out because I'm the only red shirt here tonight. Are you guys talking about me as the crew member that's not making
Yeah,
it
one of my
back?
more relaxed. Got the Wolverine shirt going.
I'm rocking the Grievance red shirt.
You can redshirt it all day. That's fine.
All right. Well, some key things. Explorers can document new flora and fauna for the Galactopedia, or
That'll
even
make people
cash
happy.
it in with your black markets or UEE scientists.
Not for me, but it'll make people happy. They like stuff like that.
Bless you.
Bless
Thanks
you,
for
Dave.
sharing.
Usually lose the headset when that happens.
That would have been cool.
Oh, Lee Warren asked if it was unwise to, say, use explosives during boarding actions.
I don't think
And-
so. I think you should always
Yes.
use explosives. Anytime you have an opportunity to use explosives, you should use them. Unwise? What is this? You have explosives. It could be unwise
Yes.
to use them.
And Chris Roberts did warn that, yes, internal firefights can damage the ship or blow out the windows.
Party pooper.
I imagine right away the Constellation, those big front windows, you don't want somebody setting off a charge right next to those.
Actually, I think instead of having an explosive charge, paintball, so they can't see out the windows.
That'd be funny.
Uh,
That
How
should
can
be
you
a
have
new gun.
explosives and not use them?
all right.
Memo, do you still have all your fingers? All right. Just wondering.
All right, on that note,
Search and rescue.
that night, folks, again, thanks for joining us here. I was looking when our next broadcast is. Looks like October 4th. Again,
October 4th.
twitch.tv/Grievance. Live shows always at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time every other Saturday. So yep, October 4th is our next one. Again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Have some fun. Be safe.
Yep, looking forward to seeing y'all in the verse with us. All right. And there we go.
Man, I can't even talk. Gee whiz.
I'm sorry, Alia.
That's okay. Memo, you can't Just blow up the ship.
Dude, if you have explosives, you have to use them. You must.
Not on the ship you want to capture.
I think it's a judgment call. If you have explosives, you use them. If you don't, then you don't.
Did you look at the new ship that they're putting out? The